AEW Shockwave never happening. So I don't know if you remember this from last year. I think it was. So unless it was earlier this year, might be, whatever it was. WWE was ousted off of Fox. Now, for Fox, they were doing really good views, especially in the 18 to 49, the coveted demographic. Sometimes winning the entire week with that demographic. I think once or twice they might have had the best viewership of anything, pretty much. But still, Fox let SmackDown go. One, it was very expensive for the rights to the show. Two, you can't re-show the episodes because they've got no replay value, at least on mainstream TV. And three, it's hard to sell advertising on wrestling shows, even in 2025. So Fox thought it wasn't worth the investment and they got rid of them. And then for whatever reason, a rumour started making the rounds, and other people, and even AEW wrestlers were latching onto it, and I don't get it, that Fox was going to give the time slot, or at least another time slot, to AEW for a show called AEW Shockwave, right? Mm-hmm. And with what I've just told you, WWE's the market leader, had great ratings for Fox, and you can't sell advertising on it, so it's hard to make your money back. Why would they get rid of WWE to then bring on the secondary wrestling company? Made no sense to anyone paying attention. Swerve Strickland was claiming it at the time as well. It was madness.
Swerve Strickland was commenting on it.
Well, apparently he drank the Kool-Aid and thought that it was actually happening. It's like, of course it's not.
Well, he's up with that head job at CNN programming. You didn't know that?
Well, apparently so.
But if another number two wrestling company, which is any other wrestling company now besides the WWE, well, their rates would probably go down, and they would make it more accessible or affordable for advertisers to be on it. They still want wrestling. They just can't get they can't get the price down to where they're gonna get people to advertise on the show. Is the only thing I can figure.
Yeah, and here's where it gets more interesting. AEW Shockwave was not an idea that Tony Khan might have, or whoever might have come up with it independently, but the NWA had trademarked the phrase NWA Shockwave for a television show that they never ended up making, but they still own the trademark on it. So there's been a lawsuit out over that for a while, the Shockwave trademark, because Tony Khan never bothered to check if Shockwave was being used or trademarked for a wrestling show. To make matters worse, a couple of weeks ago we talked about the AEW national title. And the NWA were like, well, hang on. You're just talking about how this belt hasn't existed for 40 years. We still defend it on our shows, the NWA national title. And to make matters even worse, the AEW version of the belt is an almost exact replica of the NWA version. So that is now two different trademark disputes with Billy Corgan that Tony Khan has somehow landed himself in. So
Billy Corgan, but he'll work with Tony Khan, right?
Yes, they had a phone call recently.
But WWE, they don't want to work with Corgan.
No.
Because there's nothing in it for them, that they figure.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Khan and Billy Corgan are working with each other in a collaboration. I mean, I just think that Tony Khan and Billy have spoken to each other, and Billy may agree to drop the lawsuit. But it's just bananas that they managed to come up with two phrases that the NWA currently actively own, and then have ended up in a lawsuit because they never bothered to check.
Well, Billy Corgan, he loves this. Because now he'll get mentioned a lot more than he was getting mentioned before. I hear absolutely nothing out of the NWA with Billy Corgan. How long has he owned the NWA?
Well, that pre-COVID show was like 2019, maybe 2018. Didn't he try and buy it from... Didn't he buy it in like 2016 or something? He's owned it for like 10 years now.
Well, who's he going to buy it from? Who would he buy it from?
I don't know if it was... Well, I was going to say Corluzo, but he's long dead. But I can't remember. He ended up buying the rights to the belts and the name and the logos.
And who'd he pay?
I'm going to find that out, actually. One sec. Sorry, this is a Wikipedia entry. According to multiple sources, as part of his acquisition of the NWA, Billy Corgan also purchased Tharp. Who's Tharp? I need to find out. He must be the NWA president, I guess. Stake in the NWA's on-demand, video-on-demand service and licensing of the Paul Bosch Wrestling Library. Ooh! So Billy Corgan owns the Paul Bosch Wrestling Library. Houston.
That's worth some money.
Yeah, it'd be worth something. Billy Corgan's ownership of the NWA took effect on October 1st, 2017. All licenses granted by Tharp to use the NWA branding expired the previous day, putting Corgan in complete control of both the brand and its championships, and pretty much he made Nick Aldis the champion going forward. And he was a great champion.
I didn't hear about this. Maybe if I did, it just flew over my sonar and I didn't register it.